One of China's biggest state-owned infrastructure companies has excluded UBS from a bond deal. This after the bank's global chief economist sparked a furor with his use of the phrase Chinese pig. Joining us now from Hong Kong is Philip Lagerkranser, Bloomberg's managing director for Asia Finance and Investing. Philip, thanks so much for joining us. Before we move on to the implications of all this and what happens next, just briefly recap for us how we got here.
Well, it started about mid last week when the now infamous commentaries came out from Donovan about pork prices in China and the potential impact to global inflation, arguing that there would be no real impact. In that audio note, he used the term Chinese pig, and it was a seemingly very innocent remark that was aimed at talking about pig prices and pork prices. But it obviously ended up getting massively differently interpreted.
And how bad could this get for UBS if this spirals anymore?
Well, it's hard to say exactly where this is going to end up and where it's going to lead them. We already saw right now that it cost them some in terms of business. They got excluded from this bond sale by a big SOE, which certainly has a signaling value. But it's worth keeping in mind that this is coming at a hugely crucial time for UBS and everybody else in the finance sector who's going into China. They just got approval. They just got a 51% stake in their local JVs there. And this means that they are free to set their own strategy, and they're going to be pouring massive resources into this over the next couple of years. Getting the China strategy right and friction-free is going to be absolutely key for them. It's a $44 trillion financial industry that they're pushing deeper into with huge private wealth, for instance. That is something that UBS's private bank is very interested in.
Right, and as you've suggested, Philip, the whole finance industry watching this saga really closely. What do other banks have to learn from this?
Well, one thing is probably safe to say that you won't be seeing the term Chinese pig pop up in research over the next couple of days and weeks. It obviously reminds everybody just of the sensitivities here. What I think you might see is people just hitting the brakes a little bit and saying, okay, let's look at the wording, whatever we put out right now, whatever we say publicly, let's just run through it one more time and be careful not to say anything that can be interpreted as derogatory or racist or whatever. And everybody will get reminded that these are sensitive times. There are times of high tensions, especially between the US and China right now. And I think that people will sort of calibrate the strategies accordingly.